I'm back! Today we have a very different video. We're doing another fantasy draft, but as you can see, we have 3 wheels here, and these are going to be determining what we have to draft in the fantasy draft. Before we get into the video, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you send me a DM on Instagram with a screenshot of you being within the first 1,000 subscribers for a chance to win a free NFL jersey of your choice. I'm sure the camera's not focusing right now. I genuinely can't even see it. But if you're already subscribed, you're missing out on a chance to win a free jersey. And if you aren't subscribed, you're also missing out on a chance to win a free jersey. And you're missing out on a chance to be subscribed to the best channel on YouTube. And by the time this video is out, we're probably at 600 subscribers. We're literally at 599 right now, so hopefully y'all stopped edging me, but this could be the 600 subscriber special. Thank you guys very much. We're on the road to 1,000. Make sure you send me that screenshot on Instagram, and it's literally that easy. But let's not yap too much. Let's get into this video. Love y'all. Now, before we spin this wheel, I already recorded this, but apparently, you know, the gods just hate me. My mic stopped working, but we have pick number 29. So, obviously not the best pick to get a quarterback. So I wouldn't hate if we didn't get quarterback on this first spin. Hopefully we get like receiver or maybe even defense. But as you guys can see here, we have 3 wheels. One determining if we're going to draft an offensive or defensive player. One determining what offensive and defensive position we're going to be drafting. And it's that simple. We could end up with 5 running backs on this team. We could end up with no running backs on this team. With that being said, let's start spinning these wheels. Let's see what position we're going to be drafting in the first round. We get defense first. As long as we can get outside linebacker, DN, corner, anything other than like middle linebacker or D tackle, probably not safety, I'd be happy with. But I think regardless, we'll be able to get a pretty good player here. We have to start off with free safety. But here we are back in the Madden franchise. Let's see what free safeties are available. Okay, there's actually some pretty good talent. Jesse Bates is still here, a 97 overall X Factor who's 27 years old. Although I don't know if Antoine Winfield would be the better pick or not because he is only 26. Only a year difference, but a difference in dev trait and overall, a pretty heavy one to say the least. There's a lot of good younger players, but when you have a 97 overall X Factor sitting on the board, it's hard to say no to that. So Jesse Bates is going to be the first pick of the draft. I don't know how many picks we're going to do, probably like 10 to 20 until like it's kind of just not much talent left on the board. We'll just see what we want to do. But right now, let's just focus on drafting this team, and let's see what position we'll be having to draft for the second pick. All right, and before we get into our second pick, what side of the ball will we be drafting a player from? We're getting an offensive player this time here in the second round. We haven't really picked in the second round because we did not draft until the 29th pick in the first. Give me a skill position. Don't let me draft O-line here, please. I'm begging you. And we were that close to getting quarterback. Oh, my goodness. So instead of getting to draft, you know, Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, we have to draft a center. There are some good centers on the board. We got Frank Ragnow, who is 28 years old. He has superstar, but I don't think that's going to be the best pick because Creed Humphrey and Tyler Linderbaum are both going to be younger. Creed Humphrey's 26 and also has superstar, but Tyler Linderbaum is 24. So do we think the dev trait is worth 2 years of age is the main question. I personally think yes. So I think Creed Humphrey is going to be the best pick here. 26 OU alumni. Let's take Creed Humphrey here in the second round. Hopefully we can get quarterback eventually. If I'm being honest, if there's any position we don't get, quarterback might be best case scenario because if we're bad enough in the first year, we could just draft a quarterback pretty high in the second year of the franchise. But here we are, back to the wheels, determining what position we're going to get here in the third round. Are we going to get offense or defense? We get another offensive pick. Give me anything other than O-line. Please let me draft a skill position. I am begging you. Oh my goodness. See, I put fullback on there because I didn't have punter or kicker, and I wanted there to be some sort of like, you know, punishment spin. Now that we got fullback ones, I am removing it from the wheel because that is bullshit. I shouldn't put it on the wheel. I learned from my lesson. We're obviously going to take Kyle Juszczyk, superstar fullback, but using our third round pick on a fullback definitely sucks. And Roger Goodell, please get off my screen. So we are going to be removing fullback from this wheel. That's for damn sure. Give me offense again. I'd love to get a skill position finally. Okay, we do get offense. Anything other than O-line. I don't even care if it's not quarterback. Just let me get a receiver, please. A receiver would be fantastic. God, we got tight end. I got a tight end, if you know what I mean. Tight end's not terrible. See, the only problem with us not getting receiver is, I mean, the receiver talent's getting pretty slim over here. Getting pretty slim pickings. But there should be some pretty decent tight ends left at this point. I mean, Travis Kelce is still here. The only reason I'm not going to be drafting him is because he is 34 years old. So we're trying to build a long-term team, so that's not going to be the right pick. TJ Hawkinson, I believe, is already 30. Oh, I don't know anything. He's only 27 now. Do we think getting a 91 overall 27-year-old is better, or do we think getting somebody like Sam Laporta, who's 23, 86 overall, already superstar. I think this is going to be the better pick. He has 4 years to get up to Hawkinson's overall, and I think he will end up hitting, you know, Hawkinson's overall by the time he's 27. So Sam Laporta is going to be our pick here in the 4th round, I believe. Now we're reaching the point where we could probably use a defensive spin. And here we are, back at the wheel. Let's get defense this time. I could use some defensive picks. And we're getting offense once again. Honestly, fine with me. I really hope we can get receiver here. I mean, quarterback wouldn't be terrible. Running back would also be pretty good. Just not tight end and not O-line. And it looks like we're taking a guard here in the 5th round. Now, in a normal fantasy draft, or like in the real life NFL, I would not mind getting a guard here. However, in franchise, as you guys may know, the overall of your O-line does not matter. It's just that simple. Joe Tooney is still available. We got guys like Elton Jenkins, Landon Dickerson. Yo, I don't know if you guys done a fantasy draft yet, but the right guard position is bugged. Like when you sort by overall, it doesn't put the highest overalls here. When you sort by age, okay, that made it better. Trey Smith, 25 years old, 90 overall. That's definitely going to be the right pick. So Trey Smith is going to be our pick here. Looks like we're building a pretty decent offense. I'd like to get some defensive picks. That would be pretty nice. So come on, Will. Give me defense just once. I mean, we got defense the first spin. We got to get... Dude, like it's a 50-50 chance. There is no shot we are getting offense this often. Please let me get a receiver or a running back. Please. Don't give me quarterback. I want running back. I want running back. I want... Will couldn't have given me quarterback in the 1st round. I had to give it to me here in the 6th. Is there even any good quarterbacks that we can take? Russ, Gardner, Minshew, Sam Darnold. I mean, Bryce Young. If you haven't seen my most recent fantasy draft video, go check it out. Michael Penix, I will never be drafting you again. It's looking like Bryce Young is unfortunately going to be the pick here. Or should I just go with like Spencer Rattler and be funny? No, I don't. Let's go with Bryce Young. He should have he doesn't even have star dev. Shit. Okay, I'm probably about the biggest Bryce Young hater there is. I think he's the worst quarterback in the league. But why is Will Levis a higher overall than him? I don't think that's right, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Bryce Young is unfortunately going to be the pick here. I don't know. I wish somebody else could have been here, like at least. We're back to the wheel. Can we just get defense one time? I need some defense. There we go. We get to draft a defensive player finally. Now, what position is it going to be? We already have a free safety, so just don't land on safety again. There's no way. There's just no way, dude. So we're going to be drafting another free safety. I mean, it's not like we can't move them over to strong safety or anything like that. Tyrann Mathieu still here. Kevin Byard. I would like to get somebody more on the younger side, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of want to go with Kirby Joseph. I mean, it's kind of reaching, but any safety I take here is probably going to be a reach. Because, I mean, Tyrann Mathieu's a 91 overall, but he's 32 years old. Let's not be dumb. Let's take Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, we can get somebody like Kirby Joseph in a draft like 2 years from now. Tyrann Mathieu's a smarter pick. We'll take Tyrann Mathieu. We're going to have a pretty high overall team. It's just we're not going to have, like, any important positions. We have 2 safeties on defense. We have a fullback, some linemen, and Bryce Young. I mean, at least I have Sam Laporta to throw the ball to, but we don't have a run. We need to get running backs soon because these running backs are going to start getting off the board. I mean, I'm sure there's already plenty of them gone. Derrick Henry's still here, so that's pretty good. I'm assuming most of the younger guys are still here then too. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Kyron Williams. Okay, we need to get running back before all of these players are gone. So with that being said, we may as well just commit to the all-offensive team at this point. Just give me offense again. Yeah, we got offense. I'm hoping we can get a receiver, or I'm hoping we can get a running back. That's pretty much all that matters right now. Just not an offensive lineman, and don't give me quarterback again, and we're getting another center. To keep this video from sucking absolute donkey ass, I am going to remove a position once we get it twice. So we're going to go ahead and remove center off of the wheel here. And then we're going to take Graham Barton. Having a young center can never hurt. I mean, I'm sure we can play him a little bit at guard this first year. Who knows? So Graham Barton's going to be our pick here in the, I think we're in the 7th or the 8th round. I'm not 100% sure. And back to the wheel we are. We need a running back. Like, we genuinely need a running back, yet we get defense again. At this point, let me get corner. We don't have a single corner in our secondary. We just have safeties. Let me get a corner, please. And we're going to get D tackle. That's fine, honestly. I mean, it could be worse. The only problem is, are there any good D tackles even available anymore? DJ Reader, I mean, there's decent players. They're just older. We're definitely better for going for somebody younger, like maybe Jordan Davis. The one thing that sucks is, like, there's some players that are right ends or left ends that I would move to D tackle that I can't even draft, like somebody like Byron Murphy, or I think Jalen Carter, who's obviously not available, but he's listed as DN. But we got to take a D tackle. Now, which of these younger guys do we want to go with? We could go with Mike Hall. We could go with Gervon Dexter. We could go with Jerzon Newton. I think Jerzon Newton's going to be the play. If we could get him developing soon as a rookie, he'll be a key point of this defense. So let's go with Jerzon Newton here. With a lot of these picks, we're just going to try to go with young players we can develop. We'll see how that goes. And back to the wheel we go. Here we are, back to the wheel. Can I please get a running back? I also forgot to remove free safety from the wheel, so I'll do that right before this spin. Whoa. But we get offense. We get to spin the offensive wheel. We're going to remove free safety from the defensive wheel. And can I please get receiver or running back is what I meant to say. No, we get to draft another O-lineman. Let's go. You know, I just love the wheel. The wheel just does me so right. We get to draft an offensive tackle, which is just great. There are some decent tackles left. Taylor Decker is still here. He's only 30 years old. It's not like he's crazy old or anything. Let me make sure there's not a better right tackle available. Trent Brown? Isn't he like 31? I mean, with the age difference, I don't know. Do you think we're better just going with like a young tackle? Like Talisu Fuaga is still available. There's still some really good young tackles available. What round does Joe Alt normally go? I think we're going to go with Talisu Fuaga, somebody we can keep around through the majority of this rebuild. So let's pick up Talisu Fuaga here with our pick. So Talisu Fuaga, welcome to the Dolphins. Oh yeah, we're the Dolphins today. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. All right, we're reaching a point where I'm starting to get annoyed because I don't even know if any of the good running backs or receivers are available. And we got defense once again. Can we get like a corner at least or just something? Don't give me middle linebacker because I'll be pissed off. Corner! Okay, we get to draft a corner. We get to draft an actual valuable position. Question of the day. Are there any corners available? Probably not. But we could probably get a young guy, honestly. Ooh, none of like the stud rookie corners are still available. Kamari Lassiter is still available. He could develop pretty decently, honestly. I don't know if this is the best pick right here, but let's just go with Kamari Lassiter, honestly. He has hidden dev, so can't be that bad of a pick. At this point, like, what does it even matter what position we get, honestly? Okay, maybe a little bit. If I could get like a receiver or a running back, just don't give me O-line again. I'm going to be so annoyed. Or quarterback. Oh my God, we get to draft a running back. Thank the Lord God Jesus. We get to draft a running back. Now, here's another question. Is there going to be any good running backs left because the wheel decided to make me wait until round 12? Not really looking like it. There's some decent guys left. We still got Kyron Williams, Devin Singletary, Austin Eckler. It is looking like Kyron Williams probably going to be the pick. There are probably a couple rookies, but the lower overall your running back is, the worse your team plays in this game. And I think Kyron Williams actually has superstar, which he does, and he's only 24 years old. So Kyron Williams, you are the starting running back of the Dolphins. Thank God we got a running back. We still don't have any receivers, but hey, we got a running back. Now, I mean, we need some receivers, but I'm sure it's going to land on defense this time. It sure does because, you know, why wouldn't it? Just why wouldn't it? Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. What position are we going to get this time? We get DN, so we do finally get to draft a pass rusher. I'm not sure what pass rushers are going to be available. It technically doesn't have to be pass rusher. It could be some DN that we could potentially move into D tackle, but I mean, we need a pass rusher, so. And UDK Uzama is available. Miles Murphy is available. Ooh, and Laitu Latu is still available somehow, a 77 overall hidden dev. That is a steal. Give me Laitu Latu. Let's go. And back to the wheel we are. Can we get offense so I can get one receiver? That would be great. Okay, we got offense. Pretty much whatever position we land on other than receiver on this wheel, we get to remove once we get it. So can I just get receiver? Like, please? Nope. We're drafting a backup quarterback. Well, we now get to take quarterback off of the wheel. So we're drafting another quarterback. Yay! I mean, this might not be the worst thing. If there's like a veteran quarterback that's a higher overall than... Ooh, Russell Wilson is actually pretty decent in franchise. We could start Russ for a year, then maybe slip Bryce Young in year 2. I don't know. We'll see what we want to do. We're just going to take Russ here. I don't know. We don't have any receivers. Here's the thing. Year 1, we're going to be pretty bad. So we'll probably end up sticking it out with Russ or Bryce Young in the second year. So maybe we just use our pretty high first round pick on a receiver going into the second year. I don't know. That's probably going to end up being the move because we're like, before we spin this wheel, let's take a look at what receivers are even available. Adam Thielen, Odell Beckham, Joshua Palmer, Zay Jones. Like, this is bad. Is there any like rookies left at all? A.D. Mitchell's available. Keon Coleman's available. Jalen Polk's available. So there's some guys that we could get that could develop. Xavier Legette. So we got to get receiver soon. That's about all I know. So we got quarterback removed from the wheel. Spin the wheel of which side of the ball we're going to be drafting from. We got defense once again. I don't really know what position I want here. I guess we don't really have any linebackers yet, so maybe try to get a linebacker here. No, we are going to get another defensive end, though. I mean, if Laitu Latu is available, I'm sure there's somebody else pretty decent that's available. So we get another DN. Let's see who we're going to go with here. You know what? Felix and UDK Uzama is still available. He plays pretty decent in franchise a lot of the time, so we got both of our DNs locked down, and we've now gotten DN on the wheel twice, so we can remove it from the defensive wheel. DN is removed from the wheel. I don't even know how many spins we're going to do. We are currently in round 16, so maybe like 4, or at least until we get receiver, bro. Like, we need to draft at least 1 receiver. We got offense. Now is our chance. Whatever position other than receiver gets landed on here is going to get removed from the wheel. Or you could just make my life easier. Yes! That was probably the worst sound to ever come out of my mouth ever. However, it is worth it because we now get to finally draft a receiver. Now, out of the rookies that are left, we have A.D. Mitchell, Keon Coleman, Jalen Polk, Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey's the highest overall, but I believe A.D. Mitchell's the youngest. He's only 21 years old, so I think this is going to be the best pick for us. I don't know. Hopefully, we can develop him into a stud because he's our only receiver as of right now. So, and he's going to have Bryce Young or Russ throwing him the ball. Oh, this is going to be so rough. Well, now that we've gotten receiver, we're just going to go 3 more spins, and then we'll let the CPU take over the rest of the draft. So, for the the first of the last 3 spins, we're going to draft an offensive player. I feel like we've gotten offense like an awful ton in this video. Maybe we can get 2 receivers. That would be great. Can I get a second receiver? No, I get to draft another guard. But that does mean we get to take guard off of the offensive wheel. I guess we're just going to go with Damian Lewis. He's only 27 years old, 76 overall star dev. I'm sure he's going to be fine. I don't know. I'm not going to put too much thought into it. Madden says it's a good pick. So back to the wheel we are. I would really like to get another receiver. So of course it lands on defense. Big shocker there. We still don't have a linebacker. So maybe this isn't the worst thing. Can I get linebacker? Maybe get another corner, something like that. We are going to get a linebacker. We're going to get an outside linebacker. We already have 2 defensive ends, so I'm not going to draft like a pass rusher. I'm definitely going to draft like an off-ball linebacker, depending on who is available, of course. You know what? Christian Harris is still available. He's only normal dev, but he's pretty good, and he's only 23 years old, so I actually am pretty okay with this pick. We got a pass coverage linebacker. Got that out of the way. We got 2 more spins, and then we're going to let this... I just bit my tongue and talked like I had a lisp. We're going to let the CPU take over the rest of the draft. Now, I would still appreciate another receiver if I'm being honest with you. So, give me offense. Absolutely beautiful. And let me get receiver. You know, maybe even give me tight end. Maybe I could draft somebody who could sneaky play receiver or just land on receiver and make everybody's life easier, or land on offensive tackle and, you know, just make me hate my life even more. We do get to remove offensive tackle from the wheel now, but I don't think it's going to matter much if I'm being honest with you. We're going to go with Cam Robinson here. He's not very good in Madden, but he's only 28 years old. He has star dev. I don't know. We need a tackle, and he's decent enough. So he's going to be a starter. And now we can get into our last and final spin before we get the actual rebuild going. Last and final spin. What position are we going to be drafting in round number 20? We get offense. It's in the stars for us to finally get a second receiver. Please, any position here. I mean, it's all skill positions. We get a second running back. That's not terrible. We got Kyron Williams originally, so maybe we try to get a power back here. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be much talent available, if I'm being honest. There are actually... James Conner is still available, which is actually surprising. Dameon Pierce is still here. There's actually a few pretty good running backs that we could develop. The only problem with James Conner is I'm pretty positive he has normal dev, and he's already 29, so he's really not going to progress much for us. So I'm thinking either Dameon Pierce or like maybe Javonte Williams would be a good pick. He's only 24 years old, and he's a power back. I like Javonte Williams. Let's go with him. That's going to complete the draft. We're going to let the CPU take over for the rest. We're going to see what the final teams look like. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's going to look too good. We got Bryce Young and Russ as our quarterbacks. They only have 1 receiver that we drafted, and he's a rookie. They do have a good tight end. They have a good offensive line and a pretty good running back group. And the defense could be worse. Honestly, the defense could be worse. I don't have high hopes for this team. Let's just put it that way. And after the draft, we have an 84. Oh, whoa. We have an 80 overall team with only a 77 overall defense. That's a little bit scary. Now, the offensive side of the ball doesn't look that bad. The CPU even got us Romeo Doubs. We're definitely going to be playing A.D. Mitchell as the second receiver. The O-line looks pretty good. Overall, O-line does not matter in Madden franchise. We're probably going to start Russ year 1. He does pretty good in franchise. He could get us some wins. But maybe that's why we should start Bryce Young, so we lose games and can have a good draft pick, honestly. I think that is going to be the play. I don't see us, like, there's no reason we should have Russ. We only drafted him because we got an extra spin on the wheel. So we're going to give Bryce Young a chance here in year 1. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we got Laitu Latu, we got Jerzon Newton, we got Anyudike Uzama. So I'm not too upset with the pass rush. Got Christian Harris. The CPU took BJ Ojolari, which... I don't know, we don't even need him. We already had 2 pass rushers. Let's go ahead and make sure we move Tyrann Mathieu over to the strong safety. And then now that we have Marcus May, I mean, I know he's not big enough to be a linebacker. However, this is Madden, and I don't think they care very much. So let's have him play some off-ball linebacker for us because we don't have much depth you know, at the linebacker position. I don't think that's the worst idea. There we go, and he's still an 80 overall as a linebacker. The defense doesn't look terrible. Definitely could look better. I definitely want to move Lassiter up in the depth chart. We're just going to go ahead and make him the CB1 to start it. We even got Christian Isian. So the defense honestly doesn't look terrible, or it does look pretty terrible, but it could be a lot worse. Glad we got Jesse Bates. Glad we got some rookies to make this defense look a little bit better. And we're ready to get this show on the road. Well, I got a haircut. I feel like it makes me look like I'm 12 years old, but here we are. If you call me 12 years old in the comments, I might not ever be here again. Now, although we have Bryce Young as the starter, I do still think we're gonna scout quarterbacks because I honestly have never really used Bryce Young in this game, so I don't really know how good he is. This is a whole different day, so I'm actually gonna go over the rest of the roster to remember what I need and what I don't need. So we kind of need some receivers. Not terribly. We have some younger guys, and we could use linebacker and D-line. So quarterback's obviously going to be the main thing we're going to scout because I don't think Bryce Young is going to be the long-term guy, and I just clicked the story. Anyways, I think the best tier 3 scout's probably going to be Esther Matsui. Because middle linebacker, quarterback, those are probably our most needed positions. I don't know, mainly just quarterback. So we're going to scout some quarterbacks, and we're going to set the season goal. I'm going to set it to like 7 wins. I believe that's about how good we are going into this season. We're definitely not like a playoff team, but the rest of the supporting cast around Bryce Young, at least on the offense, should be good enough to get some wins. And now let's get to the midseason of year 1. We're going to try to get this team a Super Bowl. If we haven't gotten there in like 5 years, I'm definitely not going any further than that. But let's just see how good we can make this team and if we can end up getting them a Super Bowl with the wheel drafted fantasy draft team. I'll see you guys at the midseason. All right, and to start off year 1, we are 1-5. That's very interesting. Is it the offense or the defense? Looks like it's a little bit of the offense. I'm assuming a little bit of the defense as well. Yeah, we got 24th and 13th offense in yards. So Bryce Young, this actually isn't that bad. Like, I've definitely seen worse in this game. 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. If he can kind of finish the year kind of like this, we could give him another chance next season. We'll just have to see what we want to do there. Kyron Williams is playing pretty good, 340 yards, 4.1 per carry, only 2 touchdowns though, but averaging 60 yards a game. I will definitely take that. Why is Ashton Doolin our leading receiver? Who the fuck is that guy? At least 80 Mitchell's number 2, got Sam Laporta at number 3. You know, I bet Ashton Doolin's in our slot, so I'm going to make sure to mess with that a little bit. And then on the O-line, Cam Robinson is one of the worst alignment in this game. I don't know why I drafted him, but yeah, he's allowing 7 sacks so far. That's absolutely beautiful. Madden sucks. Never trust your O-line numbers. Madden doesn't know shit about the O-line. And then are we at least get into the quarterback on defense? No, and not really. Laitu does not have a single sack, which is slightly concerning. I don't know. Is my depth chart like messed up in the specialist or something? Because all those stats were a little bit interesting. No, Laitu is a starting pass rusher. He just isn't getting shit done. But yeah, Doolin is our starting slot receiver. Let's just go ahead and make it 80 Mitchell so that he's getting the most love he can be getting and start developing. But at least it's not Bryce Young's fault. I would say it's definitely the pass rush's fault and the O-line's fault. That's who I'm going to put it on right now. Shout out Bryce Young. Just got benched for Andy Dalton in real life. That's insane, but I think Andy Dalton's about to ball the fuck out. That's all I got to say. Before re-signings, we do have to re-sign Bryce Young. We might as well just see how he finishes out the season before we get into that. Jermaine Burton, we don't need to re-sign. There's really nobody here that we need to bring back, honestly. We don't need to bring back Russ. Honestly, we're going to be able to keep all this money until free agency. We might re-sign Marcus May. Probably not, though. Yeah, no, not really any important names here. So we get to hold on to all of this money till the end of the year, most likely. And then quarterback isn't like a strength of the class or anything, but just in case Bryce Young does finish the year pretty stinky, we're going to set quarterback to the focus scouting position. And now we're ready to get to the end of the year. Hopefully we finish with more than 1 win. I mean, I'd rather us kind of be bad this year so we can have a good draft pick, but I'd like us to show a little bit of promise, you know? So I'll see you guys at the end of the season. Let's see how the team finishes off. I'm going to guess we finished like 5-12. Romeo Doubs hit a breakout and is now star development, so that's actually really big. Bryce Young also has a breakout, but I don't know why Romeo Doubs, he went straight up to star. He didn't have to do anything. Bryce Young has to get like 3 passing touchdowns and an interception or less, which I don't think is going to happen, but hey, Romeo Doubs being star dev is pretty big. We still have only won 1 game though. Bryce Young also hit his breakout, so Bryce Young's now up to star development. Maybe we can keep him around for multiple years of this rebuild. That's actually pretty interesting. And we end up finishing year 1 6-11. That means we probably won like 4 of our last 5 games because we were like 2-8 or 2-9 or something like that. So we probably finished the year pretty decent, honestly. It does suck because we're gonna have a worse draft pick now. But yeah, we won 4 of our last 6 games. We won 5 of the last 7. So back half of the season was good. Maybe we can roll that into next season and actually have a pretty decent team. Bryce Young actually finished 2nd in the league in passing yards with 4,500. Almost 40 touchdowns, 22 interceptions is a lot. But now that he's starting to develop, I think he could get these numbers down. We might end up sticking with Bryce for another year, if I'm being completely honest with you. Kyren Williams with a pretty good year. Didn't get many carries. Barely did not get 1,000 yards, but 4 per carry is not bad. 7 touchdowns is also not bad. Adonai Mitchell did finish as the leading receiver with 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. Maybe this can be enough for Rookie of the Year. That would be really big. Then he could get up to superstar. Romeo Doubs just under 1,000 yards with 8 touchdowns. Sam Laporta with 940 yards and 7 touchdowns. And this is just insane. I want to say the most sacks allowed by a player last year was like 11 or 12. Cam Robinson allows 15. Talise Fuaga allows 11. And then the interior combined allowed 13. This is just dumb. Like, the O-line is the best part of the team, and they're playing the worst, Madden. Please fix your game. Anyways, Christian Harris led the team in tackles with 117. 11 TFLs at a law, too. He actually had a better second half of the year. 11 out of Jerzon Newton, 9 out of Felix and UDK Uzama, and 8 out of Nathan Shepard. 5 sacks at a law, 2 led the team. 4.5 out of Shepard, 3 out of Jerzon Newton. 3 picks out of Tyrann Mathieu, 3 out of Kamari Lassiter, 2 out of Marcus May, 2 out of Christian Harris, 2 out of Diablo, 1 out of Izzian, Jesse Bates, and Quan Williams. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes, now on the Eagles. That's honestly like kind of cursed. The rest of these don't seem like too bad. Like, I don't know. Everything's obviously weird, but some of like Jalen Hurts on the Titans is weird. Baker's goes back to the Panthers. Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC goes to DJ Chark on the Broncos. Okay. No Dolphins. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Josh Allen, who's now on the Bills. Josh Allen went to the Bills, but the other Josh Allen isn't on the Bills. You know, you get where I'm going with it. But no Dolphins. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Malik Neighbors on the Jets. We came in 3rd with Adonai Mitchell. That's unfortunate. And Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Edrin Cooper for the Titans. We came in 2nd with Kamari Lassiter. How many times am I going to come in 2nd place for Rookie of the Year before I genuinely I can't say that on YouTube. Anyways, I do think we finished the second half of the year pretty good, so that gives me a little bit of promise going into year number 2. We're going to sim to the next season. I want to see what overall Bryce Young is up to. He might be up to like close to an 80, maybe like a 78, 79, and if he is, I'll definitely consider starting him this year. He's only going to be going into his 3rd year, and he has star dev now, so he's going to be progressing even faster, and I don't think we're going to be able to draft a rookie necessarily better unless we get like a top 5 talent. This year, Mahomes led the Eagles to the Super Bowl against the Texans, so I believe I have Lamar Jackson, and Mahomes edges out Lamar Jackson once again. Edge. Haha. But yeah, what overall is Bryce Young at now? We're up to an 85 overall team. Bryce Young is almost an 80 overall, so I do think we're going to give Bryce one more year. Also, Sam Laporta goes up to X Factor, which is beautiful. Romeo Doubs is up to an 81 overall. The receiving core is not looking bad. Maybe we could draft a receiver this year. Probably not, though, because this defense needs some work. I don't believe we got a single dev up on defense. I think we're going to have to replace NUDK Uzama as soon as we can, but Marcus May and Christian Harris both got dev ups, which is huge. I don't really know. We could draft a middle linebacker. We'll probably know a decent amount about some of them, but that's definitely not what we're going to use our 1st round pick on. Maybe we get a D tackle to finish out the D line, or we could even add to the secondary. But if there's a really good receiver, it might not be the worst idea to try to trade up for them. Or we probably won't have to trade up, but you know what I mean. Use our pretty high 1st round pick on them. So I almost just skipped free agency. First, we'll get into the re-signings. We're going to bring back Bryce Young. We're going to give him a couple more years. Hopefully he's not asking for too big of a contract. This is actually not bad for a quarterback whatsoever. I mean, it's definitely overpaying for Bryce Young, but that's just what you got to do. 5 years, $175 million for Bryce Young. And he wants to test out free agency. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh! Since all the contracts are reset in fantasy drafts, only a $20 million tag. Absolutely beautiful. I will take that. We get Bryce Young, and we only have to pay him for 1 year in case he sucks balls next year. And I think that's probably everybody we're going to bring back here in free agency. See, like Marcus May we could bring back, but he's just not even close to being worth that much money. So that is going to be everybody we bring back. We may as well re-sign Kyle Juszczyk as well for 1 year, $4.8 million. And now we got $138 million to work with in free agency. Free agency is always very underwhelming here in the 1st year of fantasy draft, so there probably won't be much talent. But who knows? Maybe we can get lucky and there'll be like a Chris Jones or something sitting right here. That would be absolutely beautiful. No, we got Tyler Algier. I really don't think there's anybody here I'm going to be interested in, but I'll go ahead and just look to be sure. We're just going to go for Bucky Irving, try to get Kyren Williams some help in the backfield. I don't even know if he's going to sign with us, but I mean, it's always worth a shot. We do get Bucky Irving. Got another running back to help out Kyren Williams with his workload. We'll get to the draft. We'll see what pick we have and what we want to go with. We're definitely not taking a quarterback. We're giving Bryce another year. If he sucks, we'll draft one next season. Honestly, wouldn't even hate trading this pick back, getting some extra draft picks for next season. Just depends on where we are and what talent is on the board. So we have the 8th overall pick. It wants us to take a guard, which is probably the last thing I'm going to do. There's a top 5 talent corner projected to go pretty much where we are, which might end up being the move. Is there any like really good receivers we're going to miss out on if we do that? There's only one receiver so far that I've seen projected to go in the first round, so that's definitely not the case. There's another one, but he looks pretty dog shit. So I think we're just going to take Darren McCarthy here with our first round pick, and then we'll see what we want to do in the rounds after that. So yeah, let's get into the draft. Let's take that corner, and yeah, I think that's actually going to help out our team a lot. Okay, I don't know anything because a receiver just went like 8th overall or something, or we have 8th overall, went like 6th. However, I don't know if he's a top 5 talent, and we know that Darren McCarthy is 21 years old out of Auburn. Great speed, good excel. Not the craziest physicals, but he's a top 5 talent. A man coverage, B press, B zone. He looks pretty damn good, and he's probably going to be like a 79 to 80 overall. So Darren McCarthy, you are a Miami Dolphin. A scouting report, Roger Goodell, get out of the screen. Hidden Dev, only 93 speed, only 91 excel. I feel like his like physical ratings aren't going to be crazy, but his man coverage, his zone coverage, everything like that is going to be pretty damn good. So I think this was a good pick from us. See, so this is probably going to be a pretty late first round pick next year, considering the Eagles just won the Super Bowl and they do have Patrick Mahomes. However, the Eagles are offering us their first round pick next season for this 8th overall pick in the second round. So I'm going to look around, see if there's anybody that looks really crazy. But if there's not, I do think we're going to trade the second round pick back and get a first round for next year. I don't really see a reason we wouldn't do that. Unless Matthew Holiday looks like a stud. He's 22 years old out of California. Great speed, great strength, good excel, decent finesse moves it looks like, bad power moves. I just don't know enough about him to draft this player. We're probably going to be pretty weak in the pass rush once again this season because there's nobody really worth drafting. I honestly think we'll be fine. If we can get a first round pick for next year, we could always trade that away for a pass rusher. So we're going to go ahead and take this trade from the Eagles. Actually, the Texans are offering us pretty much the same thing. The Texans lost the Super Bowl, so they'll probably have a slightly better pick, assuming next year goes pretty similarly. So we're going to take the Houston Texans first round pick for the 8th overall pick in the second round. And then we'll see if there's any talent left in the third round. Then we'll probably let the CPU take over from there. I forgot the Dolphins don't have a third round pick. Oh my God, Madden, can you please just start resetting draft picks and fantasy drafts? This shit is so cringe. There's no reason I should have less Madden. So we had a very quiet draft this year. But with our first round pick, we got a 77 overall corner. Was this just like a kind of a mid draft class? Because he was a top 5 talent. So that means the top 5 overalls were... Okay, there was an 82 overall guard. It did have us taking this guy, but we don't need a guard right now. There's an 80 overall wide receiver. I wish I would have known this. I probably could have traded up a few spots just to get him. But we got one of the best corners in the class, one of the best players in the class, so I definitely won't complain about that. We could try to get a receiver next season. I do wish I saw that receiver in the draft class, though. What you gonna do, right? So going into this year, we're rocking a pretty similar team, except now Sam Laporta's X Factor, Bryce Young star and a higher overall, Romeo Dobbs a star, A.D. Mitchell star. Everybody started to progress a little bit, so we should definitely play better. And then on the defensive side of the ball is where I start to get concerned. Why don't we have a D tackle anymore? All right, who's Dorsett? Do you know how to play D tackle? This is some power rusher that the CPU took us. He's 268 pounds, which is small for a D tackle. I think he might go up from a 64 though, and we need somebody there right now. So yeah, you're going from linebacker to D tackle. We'll see how you feel about that. Shout out the CPU, and he's a 64 overall at D tackle. I mean, it's worth a shot. We're just gonna leave him there for now because who cares? Defense is gonna be a little bit questionable this year. We're gonna move McCarthy up in the depth chart, make him the 2nd overall corner. Gotta mess with the slot receiver so that some bum isn't getting, you know, all of the touches. I gotta mess with pretty much all these specialists, so we'll do that before we get the season started. All right, we got the specialist messed with. We're ready to get year 2 on the road. Call me crazy, but I'm setting the season goal to make the playoffs. I really have faith in us this year, even with how bad the defense is, because we finished last year so hot. So why not just open the season like that and then finish it that way and then make the playoffs, right? We're probably not going to make the playoffs, but I am going to set the goal to do that because I can do whatever I want. And then now here's my problem with the scouts is we really need a tackle, but I also really want to get a receiver. So, you know what? We're going to scout receiver because I get to do what I want, and that's more fun. And we can also scout safety. Tyrann Mathieu getting a little bit older. So, you know, once he becomes a grandpa, we can always draft a replacement. And now we're ready to get to the midseason of year 2. I think we're going to have like 3 or 4 wins here at the midseason. I can feel it all up in my butt. See y'all at the midseason. And y'all thought I was crazy. We are 6-1 at the midseason. Let's fucking go. Shout out Bryce Young. He is 2nd in the league in passing yards, 18 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions with a 72 completion percentage. Kyron Williams averaging 4.1 per carry, 411 yards and 7 touchdowns so far on the season. Romeo Doubs, the leading receiver with 580 yards and 6 touchdowns. A.D. Mitchell with almost 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sam Laporta with 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. O-line's playing decently better this year. Talise Fuaga's playing pretty good. Cam Robinson isn't sucking absolute donkey dick, and the interior is playing great. And then how is the pass rush doing this year? We have 5 players with 3 sacks. That is insane. Elijah Dorsett, our rookie, that's like a 64 overall D tackle with 3.5 sacks. 3 out of Jerzon Newton, 3 out of B.J. Ojolari, 3 out of NUDK Uzama, and 3 out of Laitu Latu. I don't know if I'd rather have this or one player with like 15 sacks, but this is still pretty damn beautiful and makes me very happy and a little bit, you know, gets my blood flowing downstairs. Now for the scouting national focus, we're probably going to set it to receiver, and receiver is the top strength of the class, so that's what we're going to set it to. Keep in mind we have 2 first rounders this year, so we could always trade up in the draft if needed. And then let's see what players we have ready to re-sign this year. We have $180 million. We have to re-sign Creed Humphrey, Kamari Lassiter, Bryce Young, Jerzon Newton, Adonai Mitchell, Laitu Latu, Christian Harris, Javonte Williams. I forgot we had Javonte Williams. I literally signed Bucky Irving for no reason. But yeah, we have a decent amount of players to bring back this year. Let's go ahead and get this taken care of. We, of course, want to bring back Creed Humphrey. I'm going to give him 4 years, $61 million, and he resigns. Next up, we have Kamari Lassiter, who I would also love to have back. We're going to give him 5 years, $40 million. He also resigns. It's absolutely beautiful. Bryce Young, are you ready to finally, you know, actually accept this deal? We're going to give him 5 years, $245 million. Jesus Christ, I wish you would have taken our deal last year because this is expensive. Bryce Young, do you want to re-sign? Thank you. You are now locked in for 5 more years. Jerzon Newton, we're going to give him 2 years, $28 million. He re-signs. We're flying through this. Adonai Mitchell isn't interested in the team, but we're going to up his money. We're going to give him 4 years, $42 million. He resigns. Who else do we have left? Laitu Latu, 4 years. Ooh, he hasn't really played up to that contract. Let's give him 3 years, $42 million. He resigns. And then Christian Harris. Oh my God, we had so many players resign. 4 years, $33 million, and he resigns. We can let Javonte Williams go. We could actually probably trade him because we got Bucky Irving, and Javonte Williams has to be like worth at least a 3rd round pick in this game. Okay, apparently he's worth a 2nd round pick. Shout out the Cowboys. Got our re-signings made. We have 2 first and 2 second round picks now going into this season. That is great. Let's get to the end of the year. Hopefully we can finish as strong as we started, and hopefully we are in the playoffs. I'll see you guys there. There's just no way. Guess it's a little bit fitting that we were the Miami Dolphins and started off 6-1 and found a way to go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. It's a little bit fitting, but a little bit frustrating. And to be fair, our defensive points per game allowed were 22nd. We were 24th in pass yards allowed and 28th in rush yards allowed. Our defense was pretty lackluster, so I can't be that upset if I'm being honest with you. But that sucks. We were 6-1 and now we're not in the playoffs. I love to see it. Bryce Young had a pretty damn good year, though. 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Kyron Williams isn't getting many carries, but 4.3 per carry, eclipsed 1,000 yards and got 12 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs with 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. That might be enough to go up to superstar, which would be great. 1,100 yards out of Adonai Mitchell and 7 touchdowns. Almost 1,000 yards out of Sam Laporta and 10 touchdowns. Shout out to Talise Fuaga for allowing 14 sacks. Christian Harris led the team in tackles with 109. 14 TFLs out of Ojolari, 12 out of NUDK Uzama, 12 out of Jerzon Newton, and 10 out of Laitu Latu. 7.5 sacks out of Newton, 7.5 out of Latu, 5.5 out of NUDK Uzama, 4.5 out of Ojolari, and 4.5 out of Dorsett. Pass rush was not bad this year. I'll definitely take these numbers, honestly, and the more they progress, the better this is going to get. 5 interceptions out of Tyrann Mathieu. Goddamn. 3 out of Darren McCarthy, 3 out of Kamari Lassiter, 2 out of Christian Harris, 1 out of Diablo, and 1 out of Jesse Bates. MVP this year goes to Dak Prescott. We came in 10th with those numbers. That's crazy work. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Ricky Pearsall for the Bengals. These awards are very interesting this video. We got Romeo Doubs down here at number 10. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Josh Hines-Allen once again. No Dolphins. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Sean Hyder for the Chargers. No Dolphins. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Ahmad McKee, and we once again come in 2nd place, and this time to a division rival, so that is absolutely beautiful. We also got Elijah Dorsett in number 9. I'm just gonna come in 2nd place every single time for the Rookie of the Year award, and it's just great, and I've just accepted it at this point. You know, that's just life. That's just Madden. That's just how it goes. It's gonna happen every year, and I'm never gonna. Got a Ravens-Rams Super Bowl this year. The Ravens win. Trevor Lawrence is your Super Bowl MVP. Let's check the lineup. Bryce Young could have gotten a dev up. Romeo Doubs could have gotten a dev up. We'll just have to see. I think we're going to get at least one on the offense. And we got two. Bryce Young and Romeo Doubs both got dev ups and are both up to superstar. That is absolutely beautiful. And then on defense, I don't see... Oh, McCarthy has superstar X Factor. That is insane. Let's fucking go. I mean, that's fucking awesome. We have a new CB1 on the team. Secondary starting to look pretty good. I do think it might be the year to draft Tyrann Mathieu's replacement. Maybe we still start Tyrann Mathieu, but I do think we should be ready to lose him. There were some pretty nice looking receivers in the draft. Nothing like too insane. I don't know if it's going to be worth trading up for, especially now that Romeo Doubs is really starting to develop. I don't think we missed any re-signings at the mid-season. Nope, it's just a bunch of depth guys that we can afford to lose. I'm going to keep re-signing Kyle Juszczyk just because fuck it. And then we're going to get to free agency. We're going to have $87 million to work with. It's still probably going to be pretty underwhelming, but it would be nice if there was like a receiver that could be our third receiver or like a pass rusher or just something. Show me something. Cooper DeJean, we don't really need, but it also couldn't hurt to have him. I mean, Izzian's only a 78 overall. Cooper DeJean's an 84. We could have a really good secondary if we do pick up Cooper DeJean. But he's also like the only player in free agency that's not interested in us. So we're going to go for Cooper DeJean. We had to give him a pretty big offer to get tied with the rest of these guys. I don't think we're going to get him, which is why we're going for Kyler Gordon as well. In the off chance we get both of them, we'll figure something out. We'll move one of them to safety or something. We're going to go for Demario Douglas. He could be our third receiver in the depth chart. We're going to go for Mason Smith because we need some help at D-tackle. Let's go ahead and send these offers through. Let's see who we get. All four players signed. We got Kyler Gordon, Demario Douglas, and Mason Smith. I'm glad I went for Kyler Gordon because Cooper DeJean was busting my ball. But honestly, I'd say that's a pretty successful free agency there. Made the corner group better. I wonder if Izzian could almost play some safety for us. We could move him to safety this year. He'll probably play a little bit of like slot nickel corner. And then once Tyrann Mathieu's gone, hopefully he's developed a little bit and will be like an 80 overall safety or something. We'll see if that could work maybe. Because then we don't have to draft a safety this year and we could focus on like getting a receiver or a D-tackle or something like that. But Demario Douglas completes out this receiver group, which is absolutely beautiful. The offense actually looks really good. We have a 89 overall offense. It's a defense that's holding us back. We need more talent at middle linebacker. The secondary is looking pretty good. We're going to move Izzian up to safety. We're going to see what overall he is up there. We'll probably leave him there for this year. And then hopefully by next season, when Tyrann Mathieu more than likely retires, he'll be like an 80 overall and we really won't have to draft anybody. He starts off as a 79, so I definitely think that's going to be the right move. We should try to get a middle linebacker somewhere in this draft. Hopefully we can get like a stud D-tackle. If not, we got Mason Smith for now. But especially because Ojulari is not actually playing linebacker, he's going to be playing on the D-line, we definitely do need to try to get a linebacker this season. So there is a top 5 talent receiver, but not only is projected to go at number 1, we really don't need receiver that much anymore. I kind of wish we could get Isaiah Curry. He looks like a really good pass rusher. There's also a really good D-tackle. Timmy Albury, 22 out of South Carolina. Good strength, great excel, great speed, good finesse moves, good block shedding. If we could get up to number 3, I would probably take that guy. I just don't know if we're going to be able to. Although there's another pretty good D-tackle here projected to go at number 10. DeMarcus Fitzsimmons, 22 out of Florida. Not the strongest, but he has elite speed, finesse moves, block shedding, and power moves. Honestly, if we can get up to number 10, that might be who we end up taking, which we could definitely get up to number 10. We have a lot of these receivers focus scouted, but I don't plan on taking one of them anymore. Honestly, this D-tackle looks pretty good as well. Jake Nixon's 21 out of Clemson. Great strength, great speed. His power moves are low, so he's definitely a little bit worse than the other guy, but B finesse moves, B block shedding, A play rec as well. I mean, the less we have to trade up, the better, right? Because we have number 29 and we have number 17, which we could use to get this middle linebacker that we literally do need. Dwight Wiggins, 21 out of USC. Great speed, elite strength, elite excel, and he looks really good. So I think we take Dwight Wiggins at number 17, and then let's try to trade up to number 23 to get Jake Nixon. I think that's, or we're going to trade up to 22 just to be sure with a division rival, which is interesting. But we're going to trade up to 22 with the Bills. We have an extra second round pick from trading Javonte Williams as well. I'm cooking. Let me cook. So a third round pick from this year and a fourth round from next year is enough to move up 7 spots with the Bills. So we'll still have our 2 second rounders. We'll still have our 2 first rounders. Let's get into the draft. Let's get that middle linebacker in the first round. Let's get the D tackle in the first round, and then we'll see what we want to do with the rest of our picks. If this linebacker gets taken before I get to draft him here with my first pick, I'm going to be a little frustrated. Oh my god, he went 13th whenever he was supposed to go 17th. I'm about to lose my shit. I'm about to, oh my, well, that changes everything. That just changes absolutely everything. I love this game. This game's beautiful. There are some other good looking linebackers, but they're just not projected to go now, and there's no point in me taking them in the first round. Because look at this round 3 to 4 projection. Corey Radley, 21 out of Clemson. He has elite speed and good coverages, so there's no point and taking a linebacker here in the first round, and now I'm genuinely pissed off. So we're trading away our 2 second rounders and a 5th rounder for 2 years down the line for Edgerrin Cooper. So we got middle linebacker locked down. I guess let's just take the D tackle with this pick here, and then we'll see what we want to do with the pick we traded up with from the Bills. I mean, oh, this game's so frustrating sometimes, I can't even lie. I mean, we may almost be better just trading this pick as well for a D tackle. The guy we originally wanted was Jake Nixon, but there's actually some pretty damn looking guys on the board. Josh Stovall's 22 out of Ohio State, good strength, elite excel, A finesse moves, C block shedding. I'm just not going to take anyone with C block shedding. Jake Nixon honestly is the best guy on the board, so we'll take Jake Nixon. He's originally who we traded up for. I wish we could have gotten the middle line. He's fucking normal dev. Oh my god, that's great. That's just great. That's just... Honestly, that's just great. Well, the Seahawks are offering us a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd next year for this pick, so I think I'm definitely going to take that and just move on. The D tackle we got probably sucks, which is just, you know, absolutely fantastic. At least we got Edgerrin Cooper. I guess that's one positive. Hey, Madden, I know in real life when people make mock drafts, it's not always realistic. I get it. I get people can't predict exactly how the draft's going to go. However, this is a video game. So whenever you put a mock draft there for me to look at to see where somebody's projected to go and somebody's projected to fall to me, maybe just make it where they fall to me, you know what I mean? I mean, nothing else is realistic in this game, so why should the fact that mock drafts aren't realistic should be the only realistic part about it? Anyways, Jake Nixon's a 75 overall. We'll see if he does anything for us this season. I honestly doubt it. Shout out Madden. This game just honestly makes my life so much better. So here's the lineup going into year 3. Offense still looks pretty damn good. We're up to an 89 overall offense. Bryce Young and Romeo Doubs are both going to be superstar this season. Kyron Williams is creeping up on 90 overall, so the offense really should play fine. It's going to be the defense that's going to have to take a step up. We did add Edgerrin Cooper to the linebacker group. We try to add some more depth to D tackle. We'll see how Mason Smith and Nixon do. We'll just have to see, honestly. I don't know. We definitely made the defense better. The defense was the problem, so let's just honestly see what happens. You know, there's no telling, honestly. So we're up to an 88 overall team before the season has even gotten started. We're setting the goal to win the Super Bowl. I don't even care. I think we're going to go like 2 more years, maybe 3 if we get really close in that 2nd year. For scouts, I think scouting, you know, D-line and D-tackle is going to be the play this year. I think receiver's fine. I think secondary fine. I really think it's just the D-line that's going to start screwing us over, if anything. So, Travis Bailey, you get to be our Tier 3 scout this year. Hopefully, we don't need to draft any D-ends or D-tackles and everybody just plays fine. But the chances of that happening are unlikely. Let's get to the mid-season of year number 3. If we start off 6-1 again, I don't even know if I'll be happy because of what happened last year. So, let's just see what happens. All right, and we're 3-4 to start the year. We're coming off of 2 wins, so that means we were 1-4 and we won 2 in a row. So, I guess we're playing pretty good right now. We have a really good offense. It's the defense, again, that's holding us back, which makes sense, I guess, but it's still an 89 overall defense. I really don't understand why they're allowing so many yards. However, Bryce Young is first in the league in passing yards, already has 2,000 with 21 touchdowns through 7 games. That is insane. Only 7 interceptions. Kyron Williams is definitely having his worst year so far, only averaging 3.6 per carry, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Adonai Mitchell's a leading receiver as of now with 520 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sam Laporta with 500 yards as well, 5 touchdowns. 470 out of Romeo Doubs and 9 touchdowns. Shout out Cam Robinson, you suck. And then, are we getting any pressure this year? 2.5 sacks out of Latu, 2.5 out of Mason Smith, 2 out of Christian Harris, 1.5 out of B.J. Ojolari. Not really. So, fuck me. So, for the... Oh my god, I hate when I click on the start. I don't care. So for the scouting national focus, we'll be likely setting one of the positions of D-line. Defensive tackle is a strength of the class, so we're going to set the focus position to D-tackle. Hopefully we can get a stud in this year's draft. We have a lot of draft picks this year because of what the Seahawks gave us, so that should make it easier. And then let's see who we have to re-sign so far. Trey Smith will definitely be bringing back. He's been playing great. 3 years, $62 million. He resigns. Christian Izien, we moved up to safety, and we're probably going to need him here in a bit once we lose Tyrann Matthew. So we're going to give him 3 years, $18 million. He also resigns. Graham Barton, he's not interested in the team, but this is actually pretty affordable. So we're going to give him 3 years, $19 million, and he does not take it. We're going to try to get him back at the end of the season for sure. Ojolari's been playing decent, but he's not interested, and honestly, he hasn't even been playing that good. So we're going to come back to this at the end of the year, see who all we want to bring back. Probably not many players, and for now, we're going to get to the end of the season. We started off 6-1 last year and missed the playoffs, so maybe now that we started off 3-4, we'll make the playoffs. Who knows? I'll see you guys there. You mean to tell me this is a strong D-tackle class? Are you fucking kidding me? And we finished year 3, 11-6. We did not win the division, But we made the playoffs this year. Thank God. Bryce Young was second in the league in passing yards. And if I read that correctly, I think he threw for 50 touchdowns. Oh my goodness. 13 interceptions normally would be a little high, but when you throw 50 touchdowns, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Kyron Williams, definitely kind of an off year for him. Only 3.8 per carry, 880 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Receiving though, Romeo Doubs, 1,200 yards and 23 receiving touchdowns. 1,200 yards at Adonai Mitchell and 10 touchdowns. 1,100 out of Sam Laporta and 10 touchdowns. So we had 3 receivers with 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. That is insane. Cam Robinson sucks. Talise Fuaga kind of sucks. Everybody else is pretty good. Adrian Cooper led the team in tackles with 120, 15 TFLs out of Jazon Newton, 12 out of Latu, and 12 out of Mason Smith. 9 sacks out of Mason Smith, 7.5 out of Latu Latu, 3.5 out of Christian Harris. The pass rush has just been disappointing every year. 3 picks out of Christian Harris, 3 out of Adrian Cooper, 3 out of Darren McCarthy, 3 out of Tyrann Mathieu, 2 out of Kamari Lassiter, 1 out of Ojulari, 1 out of Gordon, and 1 out of Jesse Bates. Did we win MVP? We threw 50 touchdowns. And we came in third for MVP. Like, this game just sucks. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Romeo Doubs, 23 touchdowns. I'd hope that is enough for him to win it. 5th place goes to Bryce Young. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Max Crosby, no Dolphins. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Alex Slayton for the Jags, no Dolphins. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Adonis Newberry for the Broncos, and no Dolphins. But we're in the playoffs. Bryce Young threw 50 touchdowns, and we won Offensive Player of the Year. Him and Romeo Doubs are likely to both get dev ups, so regardless of what happens in these playoffs, I think we're going to be all right. Taking on the Bengals in the wild card round, we are 4 overalls higher than this team, so I would appreciate if Madden would just, give me a win that I deserve. Sick, we won. Let's go. We got a weekly award, so somebody balled out in the wild card game, and of course it was Bryce Young. 30 for 39, 360 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Bryce Young is him. He's him. Taking on the Jaguars in the divisional round. We're actually only 2 overalls higher than them, so they also should have home field advantage. So if we lost this game, I wouldn't be too mad. I do still think we should win with how good our offense is. And we do win. We're taking on the Ravens in the AFC Championship. We have another weekly award. Did Bryce Young go off again? He sure did. 31 for 38, 300 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. He did have an interception, but oh my God. And Adrian Cooper played pretty good as well. But Bryce Young, he's him. I didn't know Bryce Young was Patrick Mahomes. We're beating the Ravens. They only went 9-8. We have 6 overalls on them. If we don't win this game, I'm going to break something. But we realistically, there's no reason we should lose this game. So let's see who we're taking on in the Super Bowl. Let's go. Let's go. Just to make sure everybody knows what's going on, I did not force a single win, and I did not play a single game. We beat the Bengals by 8 points. We beat the Jags by 2 touchdowns. Wow, that was bad math. We beat the Jags by a touchdown, and we beat the Ravens by 2 touchdowns. Taking on the Vikings in the Super Bowl. They got Saquon, Devontae Adams, Paulson Adebo. We could definitely win this game. I'm definitely going to be hopping in and playing a drive. Before we do that, let's look at the lineup because I think Bryce Young and Romeo Doubs should realistically both have X Factor now. Bryce Young is X Factor. Romeo Doubs is X Factor. Trey Smith is Superstar. Oh my God, this team is beautiful. I didn't mean to click off the team. And then defensively, Adrian Cooper is up to X Factor. And that is it. But the defense does look a lot better than it did, a couple years back. So let's hop in. I'm going to make sure we win the Super Bowl. I'm going to play a drive, hopefully get some points on the board, and I might even do another season after this one. Maybe we could try to go back-to-back. That would be pretty cool. Just depends on what we're able to do in free agency and the draft. I mean, we have so many picks that, honestly, we might just fucking trade them and try to build a God Squad and go back-to-back. But for now, let's focus on the Super Bowl. The defense opens up with a stop, and we're going to hop in and play a drive here against the Minnesota Vikings. It should be on all Madden simulation. Yes, sir, it is. So, let's just see what happens. I definitely want to come out throwing the ball. We'll see what happens. I would be okay with checking the ball down to Kyron Williams or Sam Laporta. Let's just see who gets open. I think I want to throw Laporta here. There we go, Laporta. Oh, he kind of got fucked up there at the end. But shout out Sam Laporta. We're going to come out and empty here. You know what? We're going to be slinging the ball. Let's put Sam Laporta on a little corner route. I think Kyron Williams can get that corner out of there. We're going to have to hope that our O-line can block because it looks like they might be sending some pressure. No, they're not, but Sam Laporta. Okay. Really? I'm playing another drive because that was not my fault. I don't even care. I'm playing another drive. That was genuinely in zero way my fault. I literally threw it to an open tight end, and I threw it immediately, so I don't know how he could have had any pressure, and Bryce Young just decided to throw it to the defense. So we're playing another drive. Let's just hit Kyron Williams and be smart, and he drops the ball. The way their defense is set up, I'm going to double this man on the left side, and I'm going to try to get this to the outside. Oh, yeah, look at these blocks. Just cut between your receivers. Scared. Shout out Kyron Williams. Bryce Young, your ass. Oh, my God, that shit pissed me off. If this is zone, Laporta could hit a seam here. If it's man... Okay, I might have just thrown another pick. That was actually a dot. That was actually a very good throw by Bryce Young, and Sam Laporta sold. So, once again, you know, shout out Madden. This game is just the best thing ever. Realistically, I should run the ball a little bit more, so we'll give Kyron Williams a carry here because the run game has been seeming to work better than the pass game, and we almost get another first down. We got to 3rd and inches, so maybe the run game is where it's going to be at. Kyron Williams, you're averaging like 10 yards to carry right now, so if you could please, you know, just pick up these couple inches and get this first down, that'd be great. Beautiful. I probably could have read those blocks better. However, we did pick up the first down, and that's all that matters. Do I stick to the run game until I'm given a reason not to? Probably. Oh, this shit is so hard. We're going to put Laporta on a corner route. I think Mitchell could be open in the middle of the field. I think Laporta's there. Oh, Laporta's wide open. Why is Bryce Young throwing the ball so shitty? There we go. We're in the red zone. Thank God. Thank God Bryce Young actually threw the ball to Sam Laporta and didn't throw it directly to the defense. You know what I'm saying? It looks like... I don't really know what play they're in, so let's just snap the ball on this run. Can I get to the outside here? Oh, that guy's fast. I just ran backwards for a yard. It's okay. I could have lost more yards there. I was definitely playing stupider than, you know, -1 yard. This is all my fault. You know what? I'm running a screen. We're going to give Romeo Doubs a screen. These screens work so much better in this year's Madden, I've noticed. If it doesn't work, we might have to take our points. Get it to Doubs. Get some blocks. Get in the end zone. Dude, I'm telling you, the screens in this year's Madden actually work. We are on the board with a touchdown, and now we're going to let the CPU take it from here. Vikings kick a field goal, take a 3-point lead. We get down the field. We get a touchdown to go up by 4. We get a stop on the Vikings to get the ball back. We don't get anything going, and the Vikings get a field goal to cut our lead to 1 point. We can't get anything going on offense again, but it looks like we just got a turnover. We get on the board with a touchdown to take an 8-point lead, and we get the ball at halftime. Can't get anything going on offense once again. Vikings tied up at 21. Our offense... So Bryce Young threw 50 touchdowns last season, and he just can't do anything in the Super Bowl? That's sick. Can we please get down the field? We get a touchdown to tie it at 28. We get the ball back with 4 minutes left. We get down the field. We kick a field goal to win the Super Bowl. Holy shit, that was starting to get scary. You know, Bryce Young did have that one interception. It was technically thrown by me, but it was definitely Bryce Young's fault. But other than that, he had a pretty good game. 26 for 35, 295 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Sam Laporta with 10 receptions for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Super Bowl MVP might be going to him or Romeo Doubs. Did anybody really get anything going on the defense? 2 sacks out of Latu. That is beautiful. And it looks like Darren McCarthy even got an interception. So we're going to see who won the Super Bowl MVP, and we're going to do one more year, see if we can, you know, go back to back, and then that'll be it. Your 2026 Super Bowl MVP does go to Bryce Young, even though he threw an interception that I technically threw. So maybe he would have had an even better game, but shout out Bryce Young. The interception wasn't my fault. Y'all can get off my dick for all I care. Let's get into these re-signings. Let's get into free agency. Let's do one more season, see if we can go back-to-back, and let's get the fuck out of here. What re-signings did we miss at the midseason? We missed Ojulari. I don't think we're going to bring him back. If we need more pass rushers, we can trade for one. I do want Graham Barton back, so we're going to give him a 4-year, $30 million offer, which he does take, thank God. And I think that's going to be everybody we bring back. We're going to have some money to work with in free agency. We have to re-sign Younghoe Koo. We'll go ahead and bring him back for 1 year, $5 million. We're going to have $58 million to work with in free agency. We'll see who's available. I'm planning on trading at least one of our first-round picks, if not both, going into this year. So even if we can't get much in free agency, we'll be just fine. I promise you that. We have a 92 overall team. That is insane. Brandon Aubrey. I kind of wish I didn't re-sign Younghoe Koo now. Oh, yeah, but there's not shit in free agency. Should I get... Actually, just because I don't want to say his name, I'm not going to get him. Yeah, we're not doing anything in free agency. We're going to get to the draft. We're going to trade some of these draft picks. We're going to make this team even better. And we're going to go back-to-back like we're on the cover of Lethal Weapons. Back-to-back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapons. Back-to-back for the that didn't get the message. So looking at the lineup, I don't think we need to mess with the offense whatsoever. The offense was beautiful last year. Bryce Young threw 50 touchdowns. We have the Offensive Player of the Year. And yeah, the offense was perfectly fine all year. So I don't think we have any reason to mess with that. It's going to be the defense we're going to mess with here. NUDK Uzama was decent. But I think if we could get one really, really good pass rusher. It looks like, what's his name? Tyrann Mathieu did retire, by the way. So Izzian's going to be a starter this season. But I'm going to try to get us a really good pass rusher. Maybe one more linebacker. I don't know. We'll see what we want to do. But if we can get us like a nice pass rusher to replace NUDK Uzama, maybe NUDK Uzama could even play a little bit of D tackle for us. He's really small, but Madden doesn't really care about that. But let's see what pass rusher we can get here. So 2 firsts and 2 seconds gets us Josh Hines-Allen, who we have seen win 2 defensive player of the years. and we get to take him from a division rival. They also have a middle linebacker that I want to try to trade for, but I don't want to trade all of our future picks. We also will be having to move Josh Allen down to the D-line, which I don't think will matter much. We'll just move him down to left end real quick. But I do think I'm going to try to trade our third rounders for some sort of linebacker just because I kind of don't feel like drafting this season. Hey, so game, I moved Josh Allen down to DN, so can you move him down to DN instead of still having him at linebacker? That'd be really cool. Whatever, we'll worry about that in a second. I want to try to get a linebacker. So Roquan Smith and Josh Allen were both on the same team. I was trying to get both of them, and it was just not possible. We're giving up just like pretty much the rest of our picks for this year for Devin Lloyd. I don't really feel like drafting. I wanted a linebacker. There we go. We're going back to back. Like we're on the cover of Lethal Weapons, like I already said, the defense was the problem last year. I mean, technically it wasn't the problem because we won the Super Bowl, but it was, you know, the thing trying to hold us back, and now we made the defense godly. So, no reason we shouldn't win the Super Bowl once again this season. I'm excited to see what will happen. In the past, when I've moved linebackers down to DN that are really good pass rushers in this game, it always kind of like fucks up. It always kind of makes them play worse. So hopefully that's not the case here. We have like a 94 overall team though, which is definitely the best in the league. So hopefully we can get like 14, 15 wins this year. God, you can't tell me this offense doesn't just make you want to, you know, just bust in your pants. And then, dude, can this game, like, there we go. We got Josh Allen down to the D-line. I don't know why that shit took so long. I don't know. The defense looks pretty damn good now, so I don't really see any reason we shouldn't go back-to-back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. It is time for the fourth and final season. We're just going to get straight to the end of the year because there's no scouting or anything we have to do. We are a 94 overall team before we even had any of the morale or boosts we could get from this season. We're going to send straight to the playoffs. Hopefully we are the one seed in the AFC, and hopefully we can go back-to-back. Like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapons. So even with as good of a team we have, we did not win the division once again, but we went 11-6, thank God, and we did make the playoff. Bryce Young was 6th in the NFL in passing yards this year, still threw over 40 touchdowns, threw a decent amount of interceptions though. Kyron Williams, 4.5 yards per carry, almost 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. For as little amount of carries as he had, this is probably his best season. Romeo Doubs, 1,400 yards and went for 18 touchdowns this year. So Romeo Doubs, just him. Sam Laporta, 930 yards, 5 touchdowns. A.D. Mitchell, 920 yards, 6 touchdowns. And Demario Douglas, 900 yards and 12 touchdowns. So 4 receivers with over 900 yards. O-line was actually pretty good, but Talise Fuaga sucks ass. Edrin Cooper led the team in tackles with 136, 16 TFLs out of Josh Hines Allen. We'll get to this in a second. 16 out of John Newton and 12 out of Laitulatu. 26 sacks out of Josh Hines Allen. Holy shit. 12 out of John Newton. 11.5 out of Laitulatu. 9.5 out of Mason Smith. I think 9.5 is like the most amount of sacks anybody has had on our team up until this point. And now we have Latu with 11.5. John Newton with 12. And then Josh Allen with 26. Oh my goodness. MVP goes to Josh Allen on the Falcons. Bryce Young at number 9. Offensive Player of the Year, we actually don't win this year. It goes to Lamar Jackson. I don't know what he did to beat Romeo Doubs this year, but we come in second place. Defensive Player of the Year, of course, goes to Josh Allen because 26 sacks. Do we need to say any more? Let's try to get this back-to-back Super Bowl, taking on the Broncos in the wild card round. We are 9 overalls higher than them. They got Joe Burrow, Deron Bland, and Nick Bolton, but it doesn't matter because we are a 93 overall team, so we should win the game. No shot we just got first rounded, dog. 9 overalls higher and we lose. Lost by a field goal only at least, but like, really? That's so underwhelming. We're going to take a look around the league, see how we stack up in overall. So we are a 93 overall team. Let's see what the next highest overall is. The next highest overall team is the Buccaneers at an 89 overall. So we are 4 overalls higher than the highest overall team in the league. So I really don't see how we got first rounded, but that's just Madden. In Madden, always keep in mind, in the playoffs, no matter how good your team is, it is literally the flip of a coin. They don't factor in your overall. They don't factor in home field advantage. They don't factor in what your team's good at, what the other team's good at. They literally flip a coin, and they just randomly pick a team to win. However, we did still win a Super Bowl this video, so I'm not upset. I think this video came out great. Thank you again for 600 subs, and if you aren't subscribed, make sure you do that because you could be missing out on a chance of a free NFL jersey, and you get to be subscribed to the best YouTube channel there is on the platform. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was something different. I really wanted to try to do something more creative and different for you guys, so we got a wheel involved. You know, wheel videos always seem to do good on YouTube, so we'll see how that goes, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to comment any videos you want to see next. I love you. Road to 1,000. Subscribe right now. Trap and I'm tweaking with my brothers. Yeah, you bad, but I'm tryna see your mother. Don't even say a name, you know that it's fuck her. I just wanna see him bleed.
Bad bitch, something you will never see. I love my mom, but I also love these things. I love my baby mama cause she is a freak. Sabrina Carpenter, I'm making this bitch sing. 22, I'm running through you, I'm the king. Close the window, I'm just trying to smoke my weed. And you can't run this chopper, got a fucking beam. You love the act, the way this chopper made him leave.